Chapter 1. Good evening, dear listener. As the world outside quiets and the stars begin their gentle watch over the night, let us embark on a peaceful voyage through the annals of history. Tonight, we turn our thoughts to a figure whose life unfolded like a dream from ancient times, Alexander the Great. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and allow the soft rhythm of these words to carry you into slumber. We begin at the very dawn of his story, in the sun-drenched lands of Macedonia, where legends are born from the whispers of the wind. In the year 356 BCE, in the royal palace of Pella, the capital of the Kingdom of Macedonia, a child entered the world who would one day reshape the map of the known earth. His name was Alexander, son of King Philip II and Queen Olympias. Philip was a warrior king, a man of ambition and cunning, who had transformed Macedonia from a fragmented land of tribes into a formidable power in the Greek world. Olympias, his mother, hailed from the mountainous realm of Epirus, and she was said to possess a mystical aura, with tales of her communing with serpents and dreaming prophetic visions. It was whispered that on the night of Alexander's conception, thunder roared across the skies, and dreams of lions and eagles filled the minds of those in the palace, a sign, perhaps, of the greatness to come. As a boy, Alexander grew up in a world of marble halls and olive groves, where the air carried the scent of pine from the nearby mountains. Macedonia was a rugged place, bordered by the wild Thracians to the north and the sophisticated city-states of Greece to the south. The young prince was educated in the ways of both war and wisdom. From his earliest days, he was surrounded by tutors who filled his mind with stories of heroes from Homer's epics, the Iliad and the Odyssey. Achilles, the swift-footed warrior of Troy, became his idol, a figure whose valor and tragedy mirrored the fire in Alexander's own soul. Imagine him as a child, sitting by a flickering oil lamp, his eyes wide with wonder as he recited lines about gods and mortals clashing on distant battlefields. But Alexander was no mere dreamer. Even in youth, his spirit burned with an unquenchable energy. At the tender age of 12, he tamed a wild horse named Bucephalus, a magnificent black stallion that no other could approach. The horse had been brought to Philip as a gift, but it reared and bucked at every attempt to mount it. Young Alexander noticed how the animal shied away from its own shadow in the sun. With calm assurance, he turned the horse toward the light, mounted it gracefully, and rode off as if the beast had been his companion for years. Philip, watching in awe, declared, "My son, seek out a kingdom equal to yourself, for Macedonia is too small for you." In that moment, a bond was forged. Bucephalus would carry Alexander across continents, a loyal friend until the end. As the years passed, Alexander's education deepened under the guidance of one of history's greatest minds, Aristotle. The philosopher, invited by Philip to tutor the prince, arrived from Athens when Alexander was 13. Aristotle, with his vast knowledge of the natural world, ethics, and politics, opened doors to realms beyond the battlefield. They wandered the gardens of Mieza, a serene sanctuary near Pella, discussing the stars above, the creatures of the earth, and the mysteries of the human heart. Aristotle taught him about biology, dissecting animals to understand life's intricacies, about medicine, blending herbs for healing, and about philosophy, pondering the ideal state and the pursuit of virtue. These lessons planted seeds of curiosity that would bloom into Alexander's lifelong quest for knowledge, even amidst the clamor of conquest. Yet, peace was fleeting in the royal household. Philip's ambitions led him to expand Macedonia's borders, conquering neighboring tribes and forging alliances through marriage. He took multiple wives, a common practice among kings, which strained his relationship with Olympias and young Alexander. Whispers of intrigue filled the air, rumors that Olympias, fierce and protective, might have influenced events to secure her son's future. In 336 BCE, tragedy struck like a bolt from Zeus. During a grand festival in Aegae, as Philip prepared to celebrate his daughter's wedding and his own plans to invade Persia, an assassin struck him down. The killer, a disgruntled guard named Pausanias, was swiftly dealt with, but questions lingered in the shadows. Some pointed fingers at Persian agents, others at internal rivals, and a few even whispered of Olympias's involvement. Alexander, at just 20 years old, ascended the throne amid this storm of uncertainty. The new king wasted no time in consolidating his power. With a voice steady as the Aegean Sea on a calm night, he addressed the Macedonian assembly, vowing to continue his father's legacy. But challenges arose like waves in the dark. Rebellions flared in the north among the Thracians and Illyrians, tribes who saw Philip's death as an opportunity to break free. Alexander, mounted on Bucephalus, led his armies with the precision of a master strategist. He crossed the Danube River, subduing the fierce Gatai warriors, and then turned west to crush the Illyrians in their mountain strongholds. His tactics were innovative, using catapults to rain stones upon enemies from afar, a harbinger of the military genius to come. Meanwhile, in the south, the Greek city-states stirred. Thebes, a proud and ancient city, declared independence, believing the young king too inexperienced to hold the Hellenic League together, a coalition Philip had forged after his victory at Chaeronea. Alexander marched south with breathtaking speed, covering hundreds of miles in days. He besieged Thebes, and though the city fought valiantly, it fell. In a moment of calculated severity, he razed much of it to the ground, sparing only the temples and the home of the poet Pindar, as a nod to culture amid destruction. This act sent a ripple of fear and respect across Greece. Athens and Sparta submitted without further fight. Alexander was now the undisputed leader of the Greeks, ready to turn his gaze eastward. But why east? The dream of conquering Persia had been Philip's, born from centuries of rivalry between Greeks and the vast Achaemenid Empire. Persia, under King Darius III, sprawled from the Mediterranean to the Indus River, a tapestry of satrapies rich in gold, spices, and wonders. The Persians had once invaded Greece, burning Athens in 480 BCE, an affront etched into Hellenic memory. Alexander inherited this vendetta, but he infused it with his own vision, a grand expedition not just for revenge, but for unity, exploration, and perhaps even the blending of worlds. As we pause here in our tale, imagine Alexander standing on the shores of the Hellespont in 334 BCE, his army assembled behind him, 35,000 strong, a mix of Macedonian phalangites with their long sarissa spears, Thessalian cavalry, and allied Greek infantry. The sea before him shimmered under the moon, a gateway to the unknown. He sacrificed to the gods, poured libations for Achilles, and hurled his spear into Asian soil, claiming it as his by right of conquest.